Hey guys, welcome to P4CM's The Conversation. I am Canden.
And I am Jen.
And we're just going to have a little chat, little girl chat. We're going to talk about the Single Coalition. Jen, what do you feel like is a challenge in singledom nowadays? You feel like there are challenges, or is it just like this one thing?
So I think that there are benefits and challenges in every season. For me, being in my 30s, it's kind of hard migrating the places to kind of mix and mingle with other singles, and not necessarily like for a hookup feel, but just a community feel.
Okay, so like meeting other people who are single and on the same page?
Yeah.
You feel like that, really?
I think that we're just getting to that place that it's becoming a thing. I think it took us a long time to get there. Like at first it was just kind of like nobody really wanted to talk about being single because it was taboo, because we really wanted to be married.
I'm so glad we're over that.
Yes.
Because I am so tired of people thinking that because you want to be in a relationship that you're like thirsty.
Yeah.
Or like it's like taboo that you can't even mention like, you know, the challenges in singleness because it's like, oh, you just want to hurry up and get married.
Right,
but like, it's a very real thing.
Yeah,
we're adults.
it's real. Mm-hmm.
We're a lot of us are in our 20s, 30s, and at that age, you think about marriage.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just natural to have a progression.
Companionship.
Yeah, absolutely.
To want to be with someone, to want to be in love, to want to find your person and, you know, have a future with them. That's normal.
Hashtag relationship goals. You feel like we use that way too much?
I do think it's overrated because it breeds a ground for comparison. Yeah. And I believe that we start comparing our love stories and fairy tales and our timeline with other people when everyone's story is different. Yeah.
So I have a question.
Okay.
I want to know, what's the best date you've been on? Have you discussed this as a part of Singles Chat? Okay, I want to know, what's the best dates you've been on? Is it hard? Have you been on a lot of good ones? Of good ones, that's the thing.
I've been on a fair amount.
Okay.
I'm
glad they were good. They were pleasant.
Yeah. I really don't have like a negative perspective on dating.
Oh, okay.
I've had some pretty decent dates. I remember going to this fancy restaurant that I had never been to before, and the person I went on a date with had got us this booth right beside this live band, and water was waiting, and it was like the ambiance was real nice, the conversation was great, and it was like a beautiful day that day too. The food was good, and it was like one of those places where it wasn't things that I had eaten before, so I had to really like get into the experience. It was a 4-course meal type of thing, and the service was great.
4-course or 4-course?
4.
Oh, 4. Wait, 4? Okay.
They had like the opportunity. I
don't even know. Let me think. Appetizer, salad, meal and dessert. Okay. I in my mind, I was like, what is the 4-course meal nowadays? Okay.
And like they even had like the moment where you cleanse your palate, and like the chef came out. Fancy. Like it was fancy.
Did you have like swordfish?
I had something that I couldn't pronounce.
Wow.
And it was cool. Like the band, and it wasn't like an overcrowded spot, so we were really just able to kind of have a moment.
Yeah. Those are the best.
Yeah.
Like when you can kind of connect with the person, and it is like it's not forced, because that happens a lot, and then 2, they actually like chose like an amazing. I'm a stickler for really nice ambiotic. I be making up words. I'm sorry. That's probably something that has to do with being pregnant, but whatever. The ambiance is nice. So that's really.
I like creativity too.
Yeah.
Like taking me somewhere where I've never been before, and really like planning, being a part of the details. Like I think that's really I take note of that.
Important. And so one time, and I was very impressed by this, because normally I feel like, I don't know that there's and I'm not sure what your experience is, but I don't know that there's a lot of energy put into planning. I feel like people just be like, oh, we'll go, whatever. But this one particular date I had, the guy seemed very intentional about, hey, do you have any allergies? Like, and it wasn't overbearing. Like, you know how some people ask that because they just want to be fancy? It wasn't like that. It was like, okay, I just want to make sure that you're good with this. And then I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. And I remember the spot that we went to, which was a spot in DC. It was similar to that, like a little bit on the fancier side. The food was delicious, right? But I think the thing is, some people are boring in real life. Like, no. And I feel like it's the person. To me, it doesn't matter. So that was a nice date. But I feel like it's the thing is, bring your personality to the date. Like, I'm so over people who want to have conversations on the phone and take you out in person. And they don't want to, they want to stare at you.
Yeah. I'm a big stickler for conversation and just like the connection and overall just good time, like knowing like the food is good, the service is good, and the company is great. I just feel like you win with that.
Do you think there's differences between how, or like role switches now between like women now approaching more men?
Absolutely.
Is that like a thing? Like, let me slide up in your DM.
It's not really my thing, but it's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. I think because of the access and social media is created for you to be interactive. So I think like even though there's a risk, there is still a safeguard there because I'm not in front of your face being rejected in that moment. You're just rejecting my DM, or I saw that you read it and you didn't respond to it. So, you're still raggedy, but it's just kind of like the blow is softened. I kind of have that talk all the time. People ask me, is it okay for women to shoot their shot in the DM? And I mean, if that works for you, it works for you. For my personality, it doesn't quite fit me. Now, if you throw the bait, I will let you know if I'm interested. Or if you're like doing some social media flirting, I will flirt back if I like you or something like that. But my personality is not really fit for me to shoot my shot.
Yeah. I don't. I feel kind of the same way. I agree with that. But it's actually it's surprising though. There's a couple of people I know who are married now who have like, she's like, I'm gonna slide in the DMs and see. But I kind of feel like,
but you can slide in the DM without necessarily like shooting a shot. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can compliment. So I'm very overexpressive. So I don't feel like complimenting a man on his art or his craft like is me shooting my shot. That's me genuinely liking what you do, what you offer. So I think like you can slide in a DM without appearing thirsty or just really like just initiating a conversation. I don't think that's necessarily shooting your shot. Like, hey, I find you fine, and I want you to go out with me. Like, I feel like that's a little aggressive, but there are ways. Like, that's why people they're on their stories all day. Like, especially now, we're in a quarantine situation. You know what I mean? Like, people are online and you're engaging. So I don't think that's necessarily you shooting your shot.
Just sliding in there to have conversation.
Yeah, or just like, hey, like, I mean, in our age group, there are a whole lot of people that do a whole lot of dope stuff. Yeah. And it's just like complimenting you on what you do, or you posted something that I like, and if you like them, I don't think there's anything wrong with complimenting what you see in a non-deep way. You gotta
preface that.
Yeah,
there is a way that you can do it mad
thirsty, and you like, hey, so that shirt you like, or your muscles looking good, like, that's a little weird. But he's a videographer, a photographer, or he's a, an artist.
What if he's like a, what you call those people that be teaching you how to get fit? Trainer, like a personal trainer. You can't say that?
But not like, I wouldn't say it like that. You gotta be smooth with it. That workout you did was so dope. Do you have other workout plans? What's your meal plan? Like, I see that you do X, Y, and Z. What would you recommend for blah, blah, blah?
Y'all pay attention.
Bingo. Let me give you to that game, baby.
You get right there at the Boaz and be like, when he wake up. But I'm not going to wake him up. But I'm going to be here when you wake up. Yeah. You feel me?
No, seriously. I feel like there are ways, and because some men kind of have that fear of rejection, like that interaction.
Rejection is a huge thing.
It's real. It's real for us. And I think because we're allowed to be vulnerable, and we're allowed to be emotional, then we can kind of communicate it a little bit more. But like, imagine if, you know, they're doing all the shooting, they're doing all the approaching.
Well, not today, they're not. But the thing is, I do feel like rejection is directly correlated to online, how much we do online dating now. I feel like people don't want to approach you anymore, like face to face. They can just go online and look at your profile. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad, but I feel like you don't feel like the amount of people that approach you in person has decreased since the invention of online dating. Really?
I think that it could be like wrapped in rejection, but I don't think that is the only like reason why.
Oh, well, no, of course it's not the only reason, but I think that people find it easier.
Oh, well, that's social media, period, because we have access. But I do feel like,
people are still approaching in 2020 in person, like, hey, I would like to talk to you. Can I get your number? Where? Tell me where to go.
Just like out and about, like, or at events.
I'll be at the grocery store and stuff. And don't nobody be doing that. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I need to take a tip out of your style book or something. Because I be in there with jeans and my Laker shirt, so maybe that had to do with it.
Like, I get approached at work. So
it's not like I don't get approached, but you know what? It's geographic differences. Yeah. So when I'm home in LA, I always get approached.
Yeah, that's a thing too.
But when I'm here in the DC area, men very rarely approach me, and that means they may smile or like.
Are you smiling back?
Yeah, I'm a very friendly person, so I'm always like, hey.
No, but it's your facial. Cause like this is so
in the moment. I might not be as. I might be in a little bit in my zone.
So you have to be aware of that. And the reason why I say that is because some of my friends have the resting, face, and it's like they don't. It feels like they look like they don't want to be approached, so they're not approached. Like they look like they are not interested. So, and it's like he's trying to figure your body language. Nonverbal communication is a big thing, and I tell people, I recommend that you become intentional about smiling. Even if that's not how you feel, like go into the grocery store smiling, go into the gas station smiling, because what it does is it's not being fake, or you're saying I'm approachable. So even when people are walking the opposite direction, good morning, things like that, because it's an exercise of
ladies, you have to smile.
Yeah. No, seriously.
But the thing is,
because we do it and we don't know that we're doing it.
I am. You know what? You're right though, because when I'm focused, usually when I'm out, I'm very focused, and I feel like it's not that I try not to smile, but especially when someone's attention is on me, that is an odd feeling. It's fine, but it creates a certain level of like slight anxiety. So I'm like,
what do I do?
Do I smile at you? Because if I smile at you, that's like me saying it's okay, but I haven't figured out yet. So that's the thing. I think my mind is processing still in the moment. So I might not smile, but it doesn't mean that I'm not engaged or that I don't want to talk to you.
He doesn't know that though.
I need them to.
He don't know that.
Be a little more.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm not saying that you have to smile at everyone. But if you're in the moment and you're trying to process this 30-second transaction, he may be like, "So I'm looking at her. I wonder if she's gonna look back at me. She's not she's not feeling me." Like,
no, this is important because I feel like a lot of women
we do, and we should do it. We're single women. We should be watching your surroundings. You have a lot going through your mind, but being intentional about being present really works for me. Really works.
Okay, so that's what it is then, because I'm just like,
because guess what? Even if you do smile and you don't like him, his approach to you and you just being like, that's just kindness,
right?
It doesn't necessarily have to be. You're just being kind. How are you? Are you doing okay in the in this pandemic or whatever? I hope you good, or whatever. It doesn't even have to be all of that.
Don't ask me that.
No, but I'm just saying, like, just really practicing kindness, because one of the things that technology has done for us in the negative way, it has desensitized us to human interaction. So a lot of things where we're talking about like flirting or like social skills or social presence, we've lost that because everything is online. You don't have to do all of that. I can type LOL. I can type you go, whatever.
But I'm interested in knowing how many guys actually approach women in person? Because I know a lot of guys who can just go online and date. They don't have to walk up to you and ask you for your number. And I would be like really surprised if they were still doing it. Because when I was talking to a guy or two online, they were like, it just takes the pressure off. And they don't have to
some extent.
They don't have to do the same type of thing because there is like that whole rejection piece, and I can't imagine like going up to someone and being like, okay, let me just back it back up. Like you didn't really, you know what I'm saying? Like it would be a thing that you would have to like really get comfortable with if you were gonna be approaching people. But I do want us to return. I like online dating. I think that it's useful, and I especially like social media. I'm an advocate of social media. But I do wish we would kind of back it up to the times when you had genuine conversations outside of this internet. And I mean, now is not maybe the best time to do that, but I do think it's a little bit of a lost art. So I'm a little bit like, if you're not online, you're at your house alone.
Well, I think that, so like your experience with the guys have been, it's easier. Some of my homeboys, they prefer the in-person interaction because DMs can be misread. So say they're a pastor, or say they're a minister, or say they have some type of title. They're a little leery of jumping in people's DMs because it can be misread. They can, then you end up on some type of screenshot or whatever the case may be. So they would rather maximize the moment, have a conversation to the side, and then pick it up in another way, because it could be.
That's true. It could be misconstrued.
Yes, or
putting people on blast ministry.
Right, seriously. So that's kind of my just interpretation with some of my homeboys. Like, nah, like you're not about to, say that, oh, I was on you, I was flirting with you. I'd rather talk to you in that moment so that it can be offline.
That makes sense to me. I guess the thing that I'm wondering is if you are, because I know I read a blog recently where this girl said she has never been approached. And I'm thinking that, look at your face, you like, it's her. I can read your thoughts. But the thing is, I was like, that's an interesting concept in 2020. I could see how that would happen. But I do feel like we as women, we do complain sometimes about the dating experience without more so trying to understand the ways in which it has changed. I don't know that we always adjust very well to the way that it has changed and been like, okay, let me find ways to open up and have communication without that list, that preferential, like, oh, he got to check off this, and this before I'll actually talk to him. Because I've heard several people say like, oh, why is he sliding in my DMs? Why is he hollering at me? That's what he's supposed to do. Like, but I appreciate when people slide in my DMs. I don't always feel comfortable and address it immediately. Like I'm not always gonna be like, hey, let's just start talking. Like, and I'm a pretty social person. I can talk to anybody on the street. For me, I feel like a DM is a little bit closed, so it makes me a little bit nervous because it's just me and you. And if I don't know you, but I'm always kind and I'm always respond. I never ghost people on DMs or not respond or whatever the case may be. So I do feel like we could do a little bit of a better job not being like, oh, I'm too good to actually talk to you. Exactly. I hate that. Like, why are you complaining about them sliding in your DMs?
Or even in person, though. I think that we complain a lot about the dating experience without contributing anything to it.
Yeah.
Like, you think that, oh, if he don't approach me, I ain't saying nothing. And I'm not saying that you make, overly, thirsty passes at a man. But if we're in a social setting and we came to this, whatever, this event for a social meeting, it's okay for you to open your mouth and say, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
It's really okay. Instead of like, he better come over here. Or what, and I just think that our disposition, our nonverbal body language contributes to women, not all of them, but contributes to some women not being approached, not being aware, not being present in the moment. Like, you're at a social gathering, but you're in the corner on your phone the whole time. That to me looks like you're not engaged. And you don't want to be engaged in the moment. So why would I interrupt you?
Okay, so let's I love you guys. I love my sisters. Let's talk about the things that men, though, can do a little bit of a better job in.
They need to step up. I'm not taking that away from them.
How?
I think that, in those social settings, again, because we're going back, the way that we're acting, even though it doesn't look exactly like it, we're going back to the 8th grade dance where the girls stand over here and the boys stand over here and nobody's mingling. But what that looks like today is you're in your clique, I'm in my clique, and I just come and kind of peruse and I leave. We really need to have social skills. So men, if you are desiring companionship, if you would like to be active in the dating world, you probably should approach someone that you're attracted to.
Right.
Period. Like, do not wait until after we have left the social gathering to DM her to say, hey, I saw you and I didn't really. That's weird. You're absolutely weird. And your chances of no, because literally
or talk to a friend. Do you think it's okay for them to talk to a friend
at my age
and be like, hey, I'm feeling her?
I don't want you to do that.
I was right there.
No, don't do that. We're grown-ups, like whole grown-ups. Do not, because at that point, you didn't talk to, like, somebody trying to get to me through you, you're absolutely canceled. And we're in the same space, and they saw us talking, and then after the fact was like, hey, so she's kind of fly. No thanks.
Oh, okay, so I heard, there was a conversation circulating that black men in particular, don't value necessarily marriage the same way that other races do. Do you think that
I don't think
has any basis at all?
I don't agree.
Yeah,
I think that it's a generalization, and unless there's like research and facts, I'm not going to say that that's a thing.
Yeah,
I think that especially men, Christian men, they desire to be husbands.
Yeah,
I think that we're all trying to navigate the process in our different way.
Yeah,
with technology and our personalities and trying to overcome our own obstacles. I can't agree to that.
Yeah,
because I know my brothers who want to be husbands.
I know a lot of men who want to be husbands. Mm-hmm. I don't know as many who are actively pursuing trying to do that. Like, they may have a desire, right? But I don't know that they are approaching and DMing.
You know what though?
And so are they? So what are like? Is it like?
I don't think some of them think that they're ready.
That's a big one.
Like, they think that they have to, and that's one of the things.
Things.
Like, I'm struggling with. Like, you gotta have everything together.
Yeah.
Before, and I get the responsibility of that, and I honor that.
Right.
But I'm like, yo, like, it's okay if you didn't build your whole empire before I got here. Like, I'm okay.
A lot of times women help in a lot of ways to push you to the thing that you're ultimately supposed to perform or do. And I have seen that acted out in a lot of marriages and a lot of different relationships in Christendom. I've seen that acted out. But I like that men want to be ready. I want you to be ready. But I also think that you don't gotta be everything before you ask her, hey, can I get your number? Or just talk to her. So
take it easy on yourself. Like, give yourself some grace. Like, it's really okay. I mean, I don't want you to be broke down and homeless, right? Like,
Please don't be homeless.
Like, I mean, what I'm saying is, like, make sure that you have the shell of what you want to have, right? Like, you probably should have a job. You probably should have some basic essentials.
You definitely should
have a job. But I'm saying, like, it doesn't have to be that you make $150,000 for me.
Yeah.
To pursue me.
Right.
Or to engage in conversation with me.
Right.
Like, I'm okay if you don't have all of that.
No, I definitely agree.
All right, guys. So we've been talking a little bit about all things singleness on the conversation. We want you guys to be a part of the conversation and drop in the comments, what has your Christian dating experience been like? If you are a female, let us know a tip that you think that men could do a little bit more of. And if you are a guy, let us know what you would like to see the ladies do in participating in the dating experience.
We want all the details, so make sure to drop a comment and hit us up on social media. Feel free to DM us to ask us about the conversation.